Hello everyone, welcome on in. It's Betting Weekly Game Bet Match. It's your tennis podcast and YouTube channel brought to you in association with Bet Rivers, your hometown sportsbook. I'm Nigel Seeley. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Please follow us. Any comments you have on the bottom, put them at the bottom where you have the comments box. Keep them nice, that'd be quite nice. Anyway, talking about nice comments, got a nice comment. We had a bad week, but we bounced back early part here over in Beijing with Shanghai with a nice couple of winners yesterday from Sean Calvert. Good afternoon, Sean.
Yeah, hello, mate. It's feast or famine sometimes, isn't it? In this game, hang on, my voice has gone a bit dodgy. I might have to have a little swig of peppermint tea.
Oh,
it always does the trick.
Well, I'm struggling. I've had a sore throat for 4 or 5 days, and I've had a headache and sore throat. So I might need that peppermint tea. Unfortunately, I've got nothing at hand. But are you okay now?
Get Paula to make you some peppermint tea.
Oh, come off it. Hang on.
No?
Let's be fair. No, come on. Okay.
Anyway, I was saying, yeah, it is. Sometimes it is in this game, doesn't it? You have a week where nothing really goes right, and then I think the last show, I think everything came in, didn't it? Both the leans and one of which was Goffin. So if Goffin's winning for you, then you're doing something right, and both the bets won as well. So yeah, I never worry too much about a really bad week unless I feel like I've missed a couple of underdog winners that I should have had. Then I think, God, I should have had them. And it's irritating, but yeah, no, you can't dwell on things too much if you have a bad week. And this was a good start to Shanghai. It's a tournament that we've gone well at in the past over the years.
Yeah, and it's a tournament that has produced a few shocks in the last couple of days. At the end of the season, we're seeing some shocks that actually still in play with Bet Rivers, and it's the early hours of tomorrow morning. So make sure you get across to Bet Rivers to have a look at these times. Some of the matches we do know the time, some we don't know the time. So make sure you got the app available. Download the Bet Rivers app, and if you do have a bet with Bet Rivers on any of the matches that we discuss here, any of our official picks, any of our leans, you'll be able to bet live and watch live with Bet Rivers live stream on your tablet, your mobile device, or whichever device you use. Before we go into 5 matches we have for tomorrow's action, what's been happening? I mean, to me, I must be fair, I've been laid in bed, not through laziness, but not feeling too great. I haven't really been watching a lot of tennis. I've been trying to get a lie in, obviously filming the Premier League show yesterday, and obviously these matches are through the night. I haven't really watched a lot of tennis. What's the court conditions like?
I mean, a lot of people are saying it's slower than previous years. I mean, to me, it looks bouncier than it was before. It used to be quite a slick court, this kind of relatively low bouncing outdoor hard court, but just from watching it just looks a bit spongier to me, a bit bouncier this time around. That could be the balls as well. They're using the Yonex balls here this year. That could have an effect. A few of the commentators have said that it looks slower this year. I think it's definitely slower than it used to be in pre-COVID years. It used to be really, really quick. Shanghai, I would say, looking at this, it's sort of medium quick. I would say medium fast at best. It's definitely not as quick as it used to be. And the conditions, the main problem is obviously the humidity as well. That's probably slowing it down a bit. The high humidity. Quite a few retirements, quite a few other players close to retiring, or quite a few players that have just been able to finish matches and then had a bit of an issue. We'll talk about one of them in a minute. But yeah, tough conditions. Just looking at the round 2, there's been a few underdog winners today. It has been quite a good round 2 of Shanghai. 22 of the last 64 actually underdogs have won in round 2 in the last 2 editions. That doesn't count what's happened today. Obviously, that's 34%. So that is a pretty good round. And the round 2 is obviously where the seeds come in. Some of them aren't prepared. Some of them are a little bit just physically below par, a bit jaded, a few injuries, played a bit too much tennis, whatever. So there are options for round 2. That's why I've got 5 matches today. I just feel like there's a possibility. If you look at the last 7 editions, actually, of this round of Shanghai, you'd be up $140 if you just put $10 on all of the underdogs in this round. 6 of the last 7 editions, if you backed all the underdogs blind in round 2, you'd be in profit. So, yeah, there are options here, I think, in round 2. Just quickly on the weather, it's going to be about 30 tomorrow, which feels like 35 because of the humidity. So very humid. It's set to get even warmer in the over the weekend.
Yeah, so it's definitely very much a survival of the fittest, and I don't know how many of these players left in the draw are at their fittest. So it could be a good round for the underdogs. And we're going to start with a heavy favourite, Alexander Zverev, the number 3 seed, who up against Valentin Royer. Zverev is minus $5 here with Bet Rivers. Royer is plus 360 on the money line, spread 3.5, total 21.5. Maybe that looks a little bit cheap. Set betting and total sets on the graphic there, as we see. There is currently over 37 markets available on the Bet Rivers website. We do know that this match starts at 1:40 a.m. on the early hours of Saturday morning Eastern time. The action starts, though, just after midnight Eastern time in the early hours of Saturday morning. So this one here is the second match on court. Going to be hot, going to be sticky, going to be humid. Conditions that Alexander Zverev doesn't really like. Royer is in good form. Obviously, he got to the final of it. Was it Zhengdu? He got to the final.
Hangzhou got
to the final. Then come through qualification here, and he's playing well. This looks a tough test for the German.
Yeah, it's exactly what I've got written down on this sheet. There's exact words. He took them out of my mouth. It should be a tough test for Zverev on current form. The way that Zverev's fitness is at the minute, which isn't great, and the way that Royer's playing, which is magnificent. If you look at what Royer's done in his last 6 matches, main level, and that's not including qualies, and the 6 matches were against Kovacevic, Rublev, Tien, Mute, Bublik, and Navone. Service points won and return points won total 107. 87% holds, 57% first serve points won. These are excellent stats, and not against poor players either. You know, the list that I've just mentioned is very, very good standard. And he's interesting to watch. I do like watching him, actually. He's so aggressive, just goes for everything. And he's quite a nice guy to watch because he just seems to love what he's doing. You know, he's loving it in China. If people haven't seen him, he tries to talk to the crowd in Chinese after the matches. And, you know, not too many players can be bothered to learn, you know, Chinese just for this little spell of the tour. But this guy has. I know he's only done a few words, but you know, it does endear him to the crowd, unlike Mr. Musetti the other week. And if we look at what Zverev's done in his last 5 matches, it's not great. The only good match he's played recently was the one when we opposed him, or I opposed him in the first set against Sonego, and he played absolutely brilliant. That's the best he's played for a long time, and it didn't last with Zverev at all. His last 5 matches, Zverev, service points won and return points won total of 93. And just 76% holds of serve, which is unheard of, really, for him. He's still got that back issue, which we talked about a week or so ago. I've got a quote from him, which was a couple of days ago. He said, "It's tough starting from the training sessions, unfortunately. I can't train too much because this issue is demanding more rest than usual from me. It's something difficult to manage, but it's a pain that becomes very bothersome if you don't take care of it properly. So this is what it is. I've had 2 injections so far, and that's been helping me." So he's still got it. He's still got this problem with his back. I can't imagine it's going to get any better until he stops playing tennis for the season, or has some sort of intervention or whatever. And that would explain some of his form, you know, which hasn't been great. And Royer, you know, he's going to make Zverev play. As I said, he's an extremely aggressive player. It's a day match, as you said. I think that will favour Royer, the conditions being quick. I think Zverev's got to play well here. And it's not that easy coming in first match playing against someone like Royer, who's going to, at times, going to take the racket out of his hand. He's so aggressive. But he did have a bit of an issue, Royer, at the end of his match against, I think it was Navone, actually, wasn't it? He played. And he said, for all the people wondering what happened at the end of the match today, I blacked out for a few minutes and I fainted for less than a minute. I'm not sure who was counting at this point. Someone had a stopwatch on him, but apparently blacked out, fainted. He said probably the main reason is a lack of hydration and electrolytes on court. Conditions on court today were harsh, but I'm feeling much better now. Sorry I couldn't stay a bit more with my Chinese fans on the court. So he had a bit of an issue. You would think going into a match where you know it's going to be extreme high heat and humidity that you would have enough hydration and electrolytes. Clearly he didn't. But I think it's going to be tough for Zverev. I mean, he might win this match, you know, minus $5. You would expect him to, but I'm not convinced that he will. I'm going to take the safer option here, which is Royer to win a set with Bet Rivers. That's plus 123. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was an upset here. I'll be disappointed and a little surprised if Zverev knocks this off easily. He's going to have to play his best, which we haven't seen it from him for a while.
Plus 123. That's one of the prop markets available on the Bet Rivers website and on the app. Is that going to be an official play?
Yeah,
Royer to win a set?
I think he's. Yeah, I'd be disappointed if he doesn't win a set, Royer. Yeah. Another
option, maybe more than 2.5 sets, plus 185.
Over games, because I said he's holding his serve 87% of the time. And if Zverev's finds his serve, then the over games is certainly a possibility as well. Yeah.
I quite like that at 21.5. I think I'll be playing the overs there.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our second match, and this is the first match on court, actually. It's just past midnight, 12:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Saturday morning. It's the match between an out-of-form Andrey Rublev against Nishioka, a player that we have bet so many times in this part of the season. He's waited to come alive a little bit. You know, his form recently has been awful, but in Shanghai, he's been on a burner. He's won 3 matches, hasn't dropped a set. Vukic, Shevchenko, good wins. And he's now up against a Rublev who hasn't won a match since the 3rd round success over Coleman Wong at the US Open. Got beat by Felix Auger, Aliassime, Royer in Hangzhou, and Kaboli in the first round in Beijing. So this is another tough test. There is also a little bit of head-to-head to go by here. We have 5 previous matches between the two of them, and it's a narrow advantage for Rublev, 3-2. Nishioka's wins, though, did come in 2022 and 2019, but we know how problematic Nishioka can be over at this part of the season. He's 255 on the money line with Bet Rivers. Rublev is minus 335. Spread here is 3.5. Total a little higher, 1 higher, 22.5. Loads of markets available, including total sets and set betting, as well as 34 different markets on the Bet Rivers app. Now, my old friend Nishioka, he's done nothing at all, but he's come alive here in Shanghai.
Yeah, I mean, is this the chance I've been waiting for to bet Nishioka this Asian swing? I think it is. As you said, he's beaten Rublev a couple of times before. If you take clay out of the equation for that head-to-head, I mean, you would 100% expect Rublev to beat Nishioka on clay. Take clay out of the equation, it's 2-2 all told, and 2-1 to Nishioka on outdoor hard. If you just look at the head-to-head, as I said, away from clay, and that includes indoor hard as well, where Nishioka's not that great. It's only 101 to 99 lead for Rublev, so very, very close indeed. Certainly nothing to suggest he should be minus 335. And if you just take outdoor hard only, which is Nishioka's favourite surface, he's certainly the most effective on outdoor hard. Doesn't really do much on clay. Indoor hard, he tends to get overpowered a bit. Outdoor hard, 103 to 97 in favour of Nishioka in the 3 outdoor hard matches they've played. And Rublev only winning 40% of second serve points in those matches compared to 53% for Nishioka. So Nishioka knows how to beat this guy. And Rublev is another one coming in here, another big name coming in here, having struggled recently, lost his last 3 in a row, as you said, to Felix. Okay, they're good players, Felix, Royer, and Kaboli, but the Kaboli one in particular, you know, that was a concern for if you're a Rublev fan or better. And in those 3 matches that I just mentioned, his service points won and return points won total is 91. So he's miles away from the level he's at the minute. I don't know whether he's just tinkering with his game, with Safin working with him now. He certainly seems to have changed his serve a bit. This season, certainly recently, you've constantly seen him catching the ball from his serve. Doesn't seem to be confident with that shot at the minute. And I'm just taking a punt on this being the right time to bet Nishioka. As I said, I've waited my time because he didn't look like he was at it at the start of the Asian swing. But he looks like he's finally found his form now. Last 3 matches, his service points won and return points won total is 114. All right, the opposition's not fabulous. Noguchi, Vukic, and Shevchenko, but Vukic would have been up for it. Vukic did very, very well in Shanghai last year. He had quite a few points to defend, and Nishioka beat him pretty comfortably, and Shevchenko as well. And, you know, when you have a fit, which is the most important thing, the fit Nishioka, and then a confident Nishioka, in these conditions, he's an extreme threat. You know, his best form has come in hot and humid conditions, not just in Asia. He's made 4 finals in his career at main level, a couple of titles from those 4 finals. And the 4 places that he's made finals in are Atlanta, Zhuhai, Seoul, and Washington, D.C. Every single one of those tournaments, very, very hot and humid conditions, which is exactly what we're going to get here. He's had those 3 matches already, as I said, to get to the conditions of Shanghai. He's not got a great record in Shanghai, but he'll be very happy to have won those 3 matches in the manner that he has. And Rublev's coming in here cold. So I'm taking Nishioka to win the opening set because I feel like I do want a decent price. I don't want to be taking a shortish price on Nishioka in case this is a bit of a false dawn. But plus 195 would Bet Rivers to win the opening set against a Rublev who is, as I say, can't be confident, isn't used to the conditions. I think that's a decent situation.
Yeah, plus 195 to win the opening set. You can get plus money to him to actually win a set. If you want to bet over 2.5
that was
sets,
minus
plus
money
one.
earlier when I looked at it.
Oh, was it minus money?
Well, it was when I looked earlier. It might have changed.
I thought it was around about even money. I thought it was anyway. Last I looked, I thought it was like plus 105, but it might have moved. Anyway, have a look around, see if you can get that price. It might have moved since the last time I looked. I looked probably earlier than you, Sean. Plus 195 is the bet there, and you can get plus 160, I think, over 2.5 sets as well. So there's lots of angles to get with that. Is that official play as well? We're going plus 195.
Yeah, I'm taking that. Yeah, I think that's a decent bet. Yeah.
Yeah, plus 195. We are going with Nishioka to win set number 1. Remember, if you like what you hear on these shows, you can get more of the content from the team here at Because We Win and the Betting Weekly Studios by subscribing to our newsletter and our insider at bettingweeklystudios.com. It's for free. Don't have to do anything. Just sign up and you'll be into the emails every Monday and every Friday. And next Monday, a couple of Mondays coming out, it's going to be a new look newsletter. Lots of exclusive stuff. And it's well worth doing. So make sure you subscribe. Please subscribe. That's very important for us. bettingweeklystudios.com. And it's all free. And I promise you'll like the new look to it. Okay, let's move on to our next match. Alejandro Davidovich Fokina against Matteo Arnaldi. It's a Spain v Italy affair here. Minus 245 for Davidovich Fokina. Plus 190 for the Italian Arnaldi. Again, the spread here is 3.5. Again, the totals here are 22.5. We do have some head-to-head records. 2-1. Arnaldi leads on the head-to-head record. And the last win, though, was for Davidovich Fokina in Delray Beach, 6-4, 6-4 in the quarterfinals. But also in Dallas this year, Arnaldi won. And actually, to be fair, their records are recent. But the first time they did win, Davidovich Fokina had to retire. But I suppose, looking at those records, 1 win apiece, outdoor tournaments, hot conditions, I don't see any reason why Davidovich Fokina should be minus 245 to win here. His last match was a defeat against Medvedev in Beijing. Now he's come through qualification here. Just think this is a little bit closer than those odds suggest.
I think so, yeah. I think it's too short. Minus 245, Davidovich. He was priced up as underdog when this pair met in Delray Beach. Plus 106, priced up as. Ended up winning that match, but now he's minus 245. I know he's had a great season on outdoor hard, but I took a chance on him last week in Beijing at 33-1, and he still looked. I think he's just played too much tennis. I'd hope that little rest that he had where he skipped Davis Cup might have given him a bit of an energy boost, but he looked pretty disinterested against Medvedev last week in Beijing. And they're head-to-head over the 3 matches. I know one of them ended up being in retirement, but it was very close up until that point. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a retirement here, actually. 105-95 in favour of Arnaldi. Service points won and return points won totals across their 3 meetings. Davidovich only wins 56% of service points and only holds serve 65% of the time in this matchup. Even in the match that Davidovich won in Delray Beach, Arnaldi created more breakpoint chances, but only took 2 of 8. And Davidovich took 4 of 6. And that's the match. Been a little bit unlucky. Lost a few. This is Arnaldi. Lost a few recently from a setup. Zverev was a setup against Zverev. 2 sets up against Cerundolo at the US Open. I think that's just knocked his confidence a bit. Arnaldi will certainly be the fresher player, you would think, here, after that spell of form that he's had, which hasn't been that great. He's only played 44 matches this year, Matteo Arnaldi, compared to 58 for Davidovich. That's quite a difference at this stage of the season. Arnaldi's now got that win under his belt. He just was lacking wins. Got the first round win. All right, it wasn't a big name that he beat, but he's done it pretty well. He knows he can beat Davidovich Fokina, who was, as I said, he was really poor last week against Medvedev. And the other thing is Davidovich Fokina, although he's Spanish, he certainly has struggled in the heat before. I just think all told, it's a bad price. I don't think Davidovich is a great one to be betting when it really is really, really hot and humid. I'm not convinced about him at all. Yeah, I just think it's too short. So either take a chance on Arnaldi at plus 190 with Bet Rivers, or the handicap plus 3.5 games, which I believe is minus 117 with Bet Rivers. It's just a lean for me, but I think that price is just, it just seems too short for me.
It does seem short. Minus 245 Davidovich Fokina in these hot conditions wouldn't be a bet for me. I mean, he probably will win it. Oh, I've got this terrible sore throat. Apologies. He probably will win it, but I could have bet him at minus 245.
No, I think you'll get bigger than that in play.
Yeah. And that match does start just before 3 a.m. Eastern time on Saturday morning. So you've got a bit of time to head across. But as I say, whenever these podcasts drop, usually Sean's bets do get bet quite quickly. Let's move on to our penultimate match. It's Francesco Comesana against Lorenzo Musetti, 1:40 a.m. Eastern time for tomorrow. Comesana is plus 225 with Bet Rivers. Lorenzo Musetti is minus 295. I think every game we've had so far has been a 3.5 spread and a 22.5 total, bar the first one. So 3.5 and 22.5 is the total again here. Lorenzo Musetti, he didn't go, he didn't make many friends in Beijing, and then he retired in the quarterfinal against Lerner Tien at 3-love down in the final set. So his fitness is questionable. His relationship with the Chinese fans is questionable, and he's up against Comesana, who I opposed in round one against Blanchet. Yeah. And I thought Blanchet would have won that match, but he played very well, Comesana. I thought he had injury problems, but he put them to side, played really well, and we do know that he is a player that can rise to the big occasion, and taking on Musetti, who's inside the top 10 in the world, is a big opponent for him.
Yeah, I mean, two players with likely differing levels of fitness. Musetti's played an absolute ton of tennis recently as he chases a place in Turin, which maybe could come a little easier given Ben Shelton seems to be struggling. But that's why he's played a lot of tennis. Obviously, he wants to qualify for that, and you can understand that. But Comesana's only played that one match in Asia so far. I must admit, I didn't bet the Blanchet game, but I was tempted with Blanchet just on the form that he's shown recently. I mean, I didn't bet it in the end or whatever, but yeah. So
I didn't.
a good win for Comesana. As you said, Musetti retired against Tien. He's played 17 sets in 2 weeks, and chasing that spot in Turin. You got to wonder how fit he is. Left buttock strain apparently was the official.
When was the last time you had one of them, Sean? About 21 years of age. Last time.
A left buttock.
Have you had one of them?
I do have problems with my lower back. I'm on some new exercises for my lower back actually, but that's not a buttock strain. When was the last time I had a left buttock strain? I don't know. Probably the last time I played tennis, because it does get that area when you serve, or it does to me anyway. So it's probably then last time I played actual tennis rather than paddle. I'm sure people are fascinated by this.
Well, this is welcome along to the left buttock strain podcast. Talk about anyone had the left buttock strain. Put it into the comments box below. We'll talk about it next time out.
I mean, Comesana, who presumably is physically all right. I mean, he's a big match player. He loves these big matches. Does struggle with the sort of tour grind. In his last Masters 1000 on hard courts, he made the last 16 in very similarly hot and humid conditions. In Cincinnati, it was very, very hot and humid there, and he played his best tennis there. And he does have a habit of playing well against the better players. He's won 2 of his 4 career matches against top 10 players, and 4 of his 8 against top 20 players. So he's winning 50% of his matches against the best players in the world. So the level is there. And as I've said before about Comesana, in quick conditions, his first serve is very effective. He won 93% on first serve against Blanchet in round 1. So that's firing again. Obviously, they met at Wimbledon. Musetti won it in 4 sets. 2 of them were pretty close, a couple of tie breaks. First 3 sets were close. And that was a round 3 match as well. So that, Musetti had a couple of matches under his belt. And this time he hasn't. This is obviously his first match. He's coming in with that buttock strain, and I'm sure there's other strains as well, because he's played so much tennis. He might be all right. It might be the case that Musetti will come in here and think, right, I've really got to put in a performance now, and I've really got to try and impress these Chinese fans after what he said or whatever. But I wouldn't be backing him at minus 295. He might be thinking the other way. He might be thinking, I'm out of here. I'm not flavor of the month at this part of the world. That's possible. I think if you're betting in this, I think that, again, similar to Nishioka, you'd probably want a sort of juicy price. So plus 180 about Comesana to win the opening set is probably the way I'd go here. I'm not sure he'll win the match if Musetti is fit. Musetti will probably grind him down if he is fit, but is he fit? We don't know.
Yeah, plus 180. Maybe look at Comesana in play as well. Remember, you've been able to live watch the match, stream the match on your tablet, your mobile device, if you place a wager on this match. So Comesana to win set 1 would be our lean. Our final match sees our tournament winner, one of our tournament winner selections, Felix Auger Aliassime, was in action, who's got a chance to make Turin as well. He's currently 10th, and he's been a top 8. Shelton not playing well. Musetti injured. Rublev struggling a little bit. There's opportunities there, and obviously Jack Draper won't be there as well. So there's an opportunity here for Felix Auger-Aliassime if he goes deep to make Turin. But he's got a very tough test today. When we done this show, we didn't know the qualifiers, but Tabilo is his opponent, who is in absolute sensational form. Felix Auger-Aliassime is minus 180. Tabilo is plus 143. Spread 2.5. Total here, one higher than the others, 23.5. This is a no head-to-head record to go on by this one, but this is all about the conditions. If it's slow, Tabilo is a lively contender here. He's won 9 of his last 10 matches, and the only defeat came after he won the tournament in Chengdu, where you can forgive him for being tired in the first round against Zizou Bergs. And then qualification here, he's won all 3 matches and hasn't dropped a set. We haven't seen Felix Auger-Aliassime on a tennis court since his semi-final defeat at the US Open for Yannick Sinner. So this is a tough test for our man, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, how's your luck on the outrights? It's by and large, it's been pretty awful this year. I have to say that the luck we've had on outrights. I mean, obviously, as you said when we do this show, that it's just Felix versus a qualifier. There's plenty. This is probably the worst one you could pick. I would think. I can't think of any others that I would want less than Tabilo. Really, as you said, he's in superb form after a season of just injury woes, really. And the last 16 matches he's played, 14 wins, 2 defeats, service points won and return points won, total of 105. Some of those were qualies and challenges. So if you look at main level only, still pretty impressive. 6 wins, 1 defeat. Service points won and return points won, total of 103. So obviously I was hoping that Felix would get a nicer draw than this. It is a first-time meeting, as you said, but I imagine these guys will know each other pretty well from the younger years. I mean, Tabilo basically is Canadian Chilean. He grew up in Canada, played a lot of his youth tennis in Canada. I should imagine they know each other pretty well. And Felix, we sort of don't know where he's at the minute. He's obviously made that semi-finals, great form at the US Open. Then he went to Marrakesh to get married. Now he's obviously come over to Shanghai. It wouldn't be a surprise, would it, if he was slow to start this match, Felix? A lefty matchup for him. His record isn't actually that bad against left-handers. It's all right. But for me, it's kind of a tricky matchup for him, because sometimes if his backhand's it's having one of its days, then that could be a problem for him against a lefty, particularly one who's dialed in like Tabilo is, played so much tennis in recent weeks and winning all the time, come through qualies, beat Gear on as well in the first round. So obviously I'm hoping he doesn't win this match, but I think if you are not in a situation where you're on Felix on the outright, I would take Tabilo to win the opening set here, plus 125, that is, a Bet Rivers. I just think that the fact that he is so dialed in, and Felix, you wouldn't be surprised if he had a slightly slow start, considering he's not played for almost a month now. So yeah, I'm hoping that the marriage bounce is going to see Felix through this. But yeah, as I said, it's a very, very tough opening draw. It's not the one I wanted, really, but there we are. It is what it is.
Yeah, he's still favourite. I mean, he's minus 180. If he shows the form of the US Open, and Tabilo's played a lot of tennis, so he could be quite jaded himself in a small period of time. So
yeah,
let's I think the fact that Felix has always motivates himself to get to Turin. It's a big thing for him. I've seen him there play a couple of years ago, and I think that he might be up for the challenge. So don't worry too much.
I mean,
Tabilo, I won't worry too much.
Yeah, I mean, indoor hard is generally where Felix has played his best over the years. So you would think that when I put this bet up in the first place, that was one of the factors. Yeah, you would think he'd want to go there and see what he can do at indoor hard against these guys, the top guys. But yeah, I still think he's got an excellent chance of winning this match. I'm just coming at it from the angle that if you aren't on, Tabilo to win the opening set has got obvious chances based on the lack of activity for Felix and the dialed-inness of Tabilo.
Yeah, we had a good day. Had a bit of bounce back here on the tournament in Shanghai. On the first round, we're up to 5.21 units of profit. We dipped after last week in Beijing, but up a little bit on the good start after we made in the round number 1. Hopefully, we continue that into round number 2. If you want to follow any of our stuff, obviously, please hit the subscribe button here. As I say, loads of content here on the Betting Weekly Studios. Premier League weekend, lots of stuff on the Betting Weekly Premier League, Betting Weekly Extra Time as well, all the best bets across the leagues in Europe. And obviously, Betting Weekly Live every day, 11 o'clock Eastern Time. Looking at all the action. And Betting Weekly Tennis Live Monday through to Wednesday as well. Before I let you go, Sean, can you give us a little recap of your best bets, please? Your official plays.
Yeah, the official plays. Royer, Valentin Royer to win a set, or plus 1.5 sets, whichever market you want. They're going to be very similar price. Obviously, Royer to win a set is plus 123 with Bet Rivers. And Yoshihito Nishioka to win the first set against Andrey Rublev. That's plus 195 with Bet Rivers. And we've got 3 good leans as well. Maybe have a little parlay on those as well. So, yeah, I think it's quite a few good options on Saturday's play.
Yeah, so there you go. 2 official plays, 3 strong leans. And myself and Sean will be back tomorrow, Saturday. You're getting spoiled this week. We'll be back again tomorrow. Look, it is tomorrow we're back.
I don't know. You tell me.
I think we're back tomorrow, and on Sunday we've got Betting Weekly WTA. So we're back tomorrow. I think looking at the best bets for. I think it's a continuation. No, we're round 3 won't it tomorrow. So we look at the round 3 matches as well. Yeah. But obviously there'll be loads more content on the channel as well. Have a good day. Good luck with your bets. Good luck tomorrow. Hopefully we join us again tomorrow. And we'll be cashing some tickets overnight. Remember to sign up to the newsletter and the subscribe, the Insider. The Insider is out today on Friday. It's a great piece of kit. And the newsletter will be revamped. And it will be very, very worth subscribing. Well worth your while. So subscribe for free at bettingweeklystudios.com. Take care. Have a good day. And we'll speak to you all again tomorrow.